Thank you. I'm here to pitch Reshape Energy, and we do portfolio electrification. On the weekend, I was getting my car serviced at our local garage, and I asked the owner of the garage, had he thought about putting solar on the roof? And what he said was actually very similar to what we hear from a lot of our customers. And he said, yes, he'd already thought about it. He'd gone out and he'd got an offer from a company. They'd quoted him 80,000 euros, and he wasn't sure really how he was going to afford that. But he also wasn't sure how it was going to work. He had different pieces of equipment that ran on different voltages, and he didn't really understand how they were going to manage the power flows for that. But really interestingly, he then said, but I'm probably going to go ahead and do this at some point. And I think that's what we find time and time again. Customers say to us, when we go to talk to them, they've thought about electrification of their buildings. They've talked to people about it. They've got into quite a lot of detail, but they've decided they don't have the confidence to make the decision. And they don't believe they have the capabilities in-house to manage it. And so that's what Reshape is setting out to do. Our mission is to give owners and managers of commercial buildings the confidence and the capability to go ahead and invest in green energy technologies. And our vision is to build Germany's leading platform for the electrification of those commercial property portfolios. So we've raised a 6 million seed round last year and this year, and our goal is to raise a 25 million Series A later this year to expand into heating and cooling. So today, if you look at commercial property electrification, it lags behind. In the single-family home space, you have a lot of very good productization of electrification solutions. And for big industrial customers, that's the home of the big utilities, the likes of Siemens, Schneider, E.ON. That market is also quite well served. But commercial property has always been quite a difficult space. Something like 85% of commercial roofs in Germany don't have PV, even where it makes commercial sense today. And a big part of that is because customers tell us they want an integrated solution. They don't want to go building by building. They don't want to deal with multiple subcontractors. They don't want a separate financing entity from the entity that's going to turn up and set up the system in the first place. And they lack somebody in that space that they can trust to deliver this end-to-end solution. So that's what Reshape delivers. And we aim to make electrification simple, standardized, and scalable. So we use a one-stop shop. We provide all the elements in-house. We have our own special technology. For example, in PV, we have a lightweight PV roof system, so we can build where others can't. And we've been building up long-term relationships by buying companies and by building a network so that we can serve big portfolio owners. So how do we make it simple? Reshape does the assessment, the financing, the delivery, the management of the assets, the optimization. We bring all of that under one brand. But from the landlord's perspective, they don't care. They don't care about kilowatt hours. They don't want to know about asset optimization. They mostly want two things. They want another income source, and they want their tenants to stay and stay longer. And the tenants want cheaper energy, and they want lower risk. And if you can lower the tenant's energy bill by 25%, then it becomes a no-brainer. So I said we need to standardize this. So give you an example, our biggest customer, I've called them BIG. Unfortunately, I had to anonymize them. But we just signed a contract with them at the beginning of this month to put solar on 93 buildings. Now, as the company has a total portfolio of 2,000 buildings, every year they're renovating or rebuilding 100 commercial buildings. Put solar on at that point in time, they then sign up a new 20-year lease with the tenant, and you've got an asset that's going to sit there pretty much guaranteed for 20 years. So this one contract is worth 9 million in revenue to Reshape, and we're already talking about extending that by another 12 next year. And all of that will be done with one set of contracts. So we have a construction contract, a financing contract, and a PPA framework, and that's it. In terms of scalability, we're still young. We're going to be 2 years old this summer. But we've managed to build up a big pipeline of potential customers, many of them with portfolio sizes in the hundreds of buildings. And how have we done that? Part of that is buy and build. We're buying companies in this space. We're buying in years of experience and expertise. And then we're building out a relationship-based sales strategy. I had to get AI in here, and it's really interesting. Just in the last few months, we've started using AI a lot more behind the scenes. But fundamentally, this is about relationships. And how do you build those relationships efficiently? How do you find people? How do you understand their portfolios? And approach them with an offer that works for them. And it seems to be scaling pretty nicely for us. So today we're mostly a PV-based energy services business. But at the end of this year, our aim is to buy a heating and cooling business so we can start offering heating and cooling contracting. And next year, then we'll add in energy supply and behind-the-meter optimization on top of that. Just very quickly, we have half of our revenue already contracted for this year, and we'll be profitable and cash flow positive at the end of Q2. So let me stop there. If you're interested in investing Series A, if you're interested in partnering to bring additional services to these portfolios, come and seek me out. Thank you very much.